stood there small amongst the flames, village gone in sorrow's name. Tears reflected in the sky, shattered dreams and whispers die. Smoke and ashes fill the air, memories lost in deep despair. She clutches dolls of vanished past in chaos where the shadows cast. Embers of yesterday burn the night away. Screams in silence stay lost in the fray.
Mika, are you okay?
Exoval exclaimed.
Did I say something wrong?
He said, his orb beginning to float upwards, trying to come to eye level with Mika.
You're damn right.
Mika replied.
Exoval, that's insane. You don't even know what the Endure are?
She asked.
Number...
Exoval replied.
Quite frankly, I was having trouble interpreting what that might mean. I had no idea that it was something so frightful based on your appearance. What is the Endure? Is it a person, a place, a race, a military unit?
Exoval asked, very curious to find out any sort of information about it.
No, Exoval. The Endure aren't a race or a military. They're more like a plague. In fact, there was a great deal of time in which they were threatening this sector, trying to conquer one world after another. It was hundreds of years ago, during the Endure Wars. The Endure, well, they're like a virus. They find a world and then they conquer it. But unlike any other race, they don't just kill everyone and destroy everything. No, whatever they conquer, they devour. They take it and turn it into themselves, and that includes the people. Once they conquer you, they take the individuals that survive the conflict and then enhance them cybernetically, implant them with new personalities, identities, and purpose. They wipe away everything that you used to be and make you whatever is useful to them, and implant a belief system that wipes away all questions within your actions. So you're capable of doing horrifying things and believing with absolute certainty that it's for a good cause. The purpose of the Endure. All the Endure have that singular-minded purpose to serve the overarching goal. And with that goal in mind, the Endure tried to conquer this entire sector of space. It was long before I was ever born. Honestly, people still tell stories about them. Horror stories. A legacy of blood and destruction passed down through the generations, so that no one would ever forget that they're still out there, that one day they might try to come back, and that when they do, not to take them lightly, which was the mistake that we made in the first place. When the Endure first came to the sector, no one really thought anything about them conquering a planet or two. It didn't really matter. Worlds get conquered. Wars are waged, and one race can claim dominance or power over another at any time. This is an ever-ongoing system. It happens whether you really like it or not. But whenever people conquer a world, there's always a slow-going process of absorbing that world into your own economy, reconstruction, occupation, and countless other facets that slow it down. But unlike any other world or race, the Endure are not slowed down after they conquer a world. Both in terms of numbers and in terms of functionality, they work much more like machines than people. The amount of time in between the worlds that they jumped to was, well, shocking. Within 24 hours after conquering a world, all of the people on it would already be subject to them. They don't require any specific conditions to live, so they conquer even uninhabitable worlds, mining them for resources. They were washing away entire star systems as easy as breathing. There are lots of different versions to the story of how exactly we managed to force the Endure back out, to retake the sector. The damage from the war still litters most of this sector. It was rough going for a few hundred years to try to rebuild. But as to how we won, there are just too many stories, too many different versions of what it was that brought about our victory. But one of the more popular stories is that our sector was visited by a god.
A god?
Exoval replied, his small floating orb hovering intently, getting just a bit closer.
Yes, as absurd as it sounds. That's one of the largest running stories, that the individual themselves was either a god or some type of godlike race. The powers they said that he had were quite frankly absurd, as if he could bend the fabric of reality to his will, rearranging the universe however he saw fit in order to win. Some of the stories passed down speak of him being so massive that he attached a chain to a star, and that star became a mace that he used to do battle with the Endure, smashing them to pieces and melting away the scattered bits that were left. Other rumors speak of him opening black holes at will, swallowing up entire fleets of Endure, just waving his hand and they're gone, but the ones that I'm more concerned about right now are the stories that this individual wielded unbelievably powerful warships. The sum of the stories of these warships are that some of them were the size of planets, able to destroy entire worlds with a breath, having technology so advanced that everything else paled in comparison, which actually makes sense if I count you into the equation. I mean, think about it, Exoval. You were in that field of debris for hundreds of years. It's possible that you are one of the visitor that strange godly beings, warships, one that was lost during the war, but somehow a fragment of you survived and simply wandered that debris field until you met me. It would most definitely explain the advanced nature of your technology, how you have sentience, even though you're a ship.
So are you telling me that the Endure are no more? That this strange visitor destroyed them all?
No, that's the scariest thing about it. For all the stories of how powerful that they were, the Endure were just as terrifying. Once the conflict between them began, it was complete and utter chaos and destruction in all directions. All of the individual races from this section of space lent what help they could. But in the end, all we managed to do was push the Endure back, force them out of our sector of space, even with this visitor and all their technology or power. He wasn't able to destroy them completely, just protect us from them, after which this visitor left. The only message that was left was that he would return if the Endure threatened us ever again. Since then, it's been hundreds of years, over 1,000 actually. And since then, there's been no sign of the Endure returning to our sector. However, there are still countless worlds that believe that they will return eventually. Consuming all things is, well, part of their objective. They will never relinquish it. So long as they exist, they will persist.
For a moment, Exoval floated there in silence, not saying anything in return. As if he was thinking things over,
Mika,
Exoval said after his long pause.
might I make a request of you? You said that if you could, you would help me. That I am your friend, that you wish for a way to return the favor. Well, I have one, now that I've spoken to you. I will remain your ship. This will not change. However, if I might have this one request, it's that if you are ever able to come across any information as to my origins, where I come from and who I am, that we put effort towards finding that information, towards following those clues, so that one day I might find out where I come from, possibly even travel there. I would like to know the truth of myself.
Mika took a deep, long breath, exhaling slowly.
Wow, that's a big request if you actually come from where I think you come from. And with everything that you're doing for me, it would be completely selfish of me to turn you down. So even if it's a little bit of a terrifying concept, I'll do it anyways. You have my word, Exoval. If we ever get the chance to track down your origins, then we will. You have my word as captain of you, the ship known as Exoval, as well as the word of your friend.
Mika said, a warm smile across her face.